Danielle Spencer, a name that will forever be etched in the history of American television, passed away at the age of 60. Known to millions as the quick-witted and lovable Dee Thomas from the 1970s sitcom What's Happening, she captured hearts with her sass, her charm, and her unforgettable delivery. On Monday, in Richmond, Virginia, her remarkable life came to a close. Her publicist, Sandra Jones, confirmed that she died from gastric cancer and cardiac arrest. For those who grew up watching What's Happening, Danielle wasn't just another sitcom character, she was family. The series, which aired from 1976 to 1979 on ABC, broke ground as one of the first major American shows to shine a spotlight on the everyday lives of Black teenagers. It came at a time when representation was slowly expanding on television, with other notable Black-led shows like Good Times and Sanford and Son finding success. But What's Happening brought something different, a warm, slice-of-life comedy that felt real, relatable, and deeply human. The show was inspired by the 1975 film Cooley High, written by Eric Monti and directed by Michael Schultz. In it, we followed three friends in Los Angeles: Roger, Raj Thomas, played by Ernest Thomas, Freddie, Rerun, Stubbs, played by Fred Berry, and Dwayne Nelson, played by Haywood Nelson. The trio faced friendship dilemmas, school troubles, and small adventures, always with humor and heart. But alongside them was Dee Thomas, Raj's little sister, played by Danielle Spencer. Dee was more than just a side character. She was a scene stealer. With her sharp tongue and fearless honesty, she had a way of delivering lines that stuck with you. And then there was her famous catchphrase, "Ooh, I'm telling Mama." It became part of pop culture, repeated by fans for decades. Danielle once joked that whenever someone would say it to her, they thought they were being original, and she would have to act surprised, laugh, and play along every single time. What many people don't know is that Danielle almost didn't get the role. She auditioned for the part but didn't land it immediately. It wasn't until a month later that the call came through. She was heading to Los Angeles to join the cast. For a Bronx-born girl, moving across the country to the sunny streets of LA was a huge shift. She admitted she didn't have an on-screen role model to follow. There were very few young Black girls in lead TV roles at the time. So she turned to her own family for inspiration, shaping Dee's personality from what she knew best. She revealed later that she didn't have an older brother in real life, but she had plenty of pent-up sassiness she wanted to let out. Playing Dee gave her the perfect excuse. Danielle Louise Spencer was born on June 24, 1965, in the Bronx. Her father, James Spencer, worked as a civil servant, and her mother, Cheryl Spencer, was a dedicated schoolteacher. From a young age, Danielle showed a love for performance. She began acting classes at about 8 years old, finding joy in memorizing lines, dressing up in costumes, and stepping into the shoes of different characters. She once described acting as therapeutic, allowing her to understand her characters while adding a touch of her own personality. After What's Happening ended, Danielle reprised her role as Dee in the sequel series, What's Happening Now, from 1985 to 1988. But after that, she made a surprising career shift. Rather than continuing in Hollywood, she decided to follow her other passion, animals. Her love for animals began early. She remembered bringing her first pet home when she was just 5 years old, begging her mother to keep it. She studied marine biology at UCLA and later attended Tuskegee University in Alabama, graduating with a doctorate in veterinary medicine in 1993. For decades, she worked as a veterinarian, caring for animals with the same dedication and compassion she had shown her fans years earlier. But life wasn't without hardship. During the production of What's Happening, as second season, Danielle and her stepfather, Tim Pelt, were involved in a horrific car accident. Tim Pelt tragically died from his injuries, and Danielle was left with multiple broken bones and a pelvis fracture. She fell into a coma for 3 weeks. Doctors weren't sure she would recover, but she did, and in an incredible show of determination, she returned for the show's final season. The effects of that accident would linger. In 2004, she began to experience symptoms of spinal stenosis, a condition that nearly left her paralyzed. Then, in 2014, she faced another devastating blow, a breast cancer diagnosis. She underwent a double mastectomy and spoke openly about how hard it was to keep her spirits up. In a deeply emotional interview, she admitted she had considered ending her life, but her family helped her hold on. In 2018, she endured yet another health crisis, requiring emergency brain surgery. And yet, she kept pushing forward. Her resilience was recognized in 2016 when she was inducted into the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. Danielle said she was stunned by the honor, humbled that her work would be remembered for generations to come. Through it all, she never lost her warmth or humor. Whether in front of a camera or in a veterinary clinic, she treated people and animals with kindness. Danielle Spencer's story is one of transformation, strength, and legacy. She will always be remembered as the little sister who could match wits with anyone, the actress who broke barriers on television, and the veterinarian who devoted her life to caring for creatures great and small. She leaves behind her mother, Cheryl Pelt, and her brother, jazz trumpeter Jeremy Pelt. For those who grew up hearing her say, "Ooh, I'm telling Mama," that voice will never be forgotten. And for those who knew her personally, Danielle Spencer will be remembered for far more than just a catchphrase. She will be remembered for her courage, her compassion, and the joy she brought to the world.